Good morning. And from my side, I had my first cup of coffee, so I'm ready to cook. Okay, it's good to see your faces, and I hope to inspire you even more. And before I want to tell something about being here in Suriname, and today we're gonna do a training. It's called Innovating Leadership: How to take command of your dreams. That is the most important thing. And to take command of your dreams, there are four phases you have to go through. The phase number one, I call it the warrior phase. You need to become a warrior. You need to be willing to get out your comfort zone. You need to be willing to fight. You need to be willing to stand up for what you believe in. But the most important part is that every dream you're going to chase will require some sort of sacrifice. It is an illusion to believe that it will just come to you, because we need to bring that dream from what we call the dream state, the dream realm, to 5D to 3D. And to bring it in is like birthing a child. Now, I'm not a woman. I've never given birth, but I can imagine it can be tough, right? So you need to bring it, and that requires the power to do so. The second part is, and it's about self-healing, it's about self-love. Because as a warrior, often you may have to give a lot of energy, a lot of life force. So you need to build in also parts of healing. So for example, this year I started with 30 days in India to regenerate my body, to detoxify my body with Ayurvedic treatment. So that's the healing, the self-healing part, to take care of yourself. Because I can tell you, this year I'm going to become 70. And for me, this is a marathon you're running. In the beginning, I've sprinted once in a while. And when you sprint, the danger is that you can run into a burnout. And I've been successful in that as well. I had 2.5 burnouts. So I'm an expert in burnouts, right? So that's one thing. So we need to find that balance. So the warrior and the healer are the basis of, or what you want to call it, a human side or 3D side. But that's not all that we are. So the next step we need to learn is how to connect to that dream, not on a mental level, but to really step into the dream, just like real dreaming, to dream about it, to be in the dream, to experience the dream. And it's the visionary part. So you have to become a visionary. You need to have that vision of what you're going to create and bring in this world. And the last part is that you need to inspire others to do the same. So that's when you go out and you share your message. That's where you become visible. And that's another part where you need to learn again to get out of your comfort zone. So we have two parts in this series. The warrior part is to have the strength to come out your comfort zone, to fight for your dream, to have that fighter spirit. The second part is the self-healing, self-love part. And then that's also the yin and the yang balance. And then you have the visionary part where you go into dream state, which is the great state, meditation. Some people might even use ayahuasca, God knows what. All of that is great. But then you have to bring it down in the here and now. So that's also part of what we're doing with this project, because we want to bring a part of our dreams into reality. And part of that dream is to give many people the opportunity to experience financial freedom. And not only that, but then to bring their dreams into the world. So for me, this is not the end of the road. It's a means to an end, but it has a lot of benefits that I want to explain to you today. The benefits of being part of this group, the benefits of using this product, the benefits of inspiring others to use this product. So this is what I want you to wrap your head around. And being here in Suriname is a consequence from all these steps as well. When I became a holistic doctor and I started my practice in 1980, I started doing research, and I discovered many things that were not known at the time. And my dream has always been to bring Western medicine and holistic medicine together, because I've been trained like a Western doctor. And it always was very painful for me that we were separated, that my colleagues could not integrate with us. I've had many, many successes. I have many specialists and doctors referring clients to me, but it was always happening on a small scale and not what I think that holistic medicine really deserves. And the other thing that holistic medicine really deserves is research, really scientific research to show that we're not charlatans, that we're not, like they say in America, selling snake oils. Like, okay, that's stuff. And that's also one why I'm so happy with this product we're going to talk about. It's not snake oil, it's real. It is one of the best products I've ever seen. So I'm here in Suriname for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want to create that clinic, a huge clinic. It will be in the form of a pyramid where we bring a lot of experts together, shamans, local shamans here. I spoke with one last night. We have a professor here at the university who's doing research in medicinal plants, and to bring the science here, to the software, the research, the laboratories, all of that. And like in many dreams, when your dream is bigger than you will run into one problem, and that's always financing and funding. And that's another part we'll be discussing today here, that we don't have the means sometimes to fulfill our dreams. And that's where we often get stuck. We get stuck in the idea, can I do it? Do I have the power to do it? And all those kind of things. And that's why this is another great opportunity, because together, and I want you to really allow that word to come in, together, we can make it happen. I cannot do it by myself. Maury cannot do it by himself. We need other people who are as inspired as us, willing to step out of the comfort zone to manifest their dreams in whatever dream that's going to be. So this is the first message. And we already been very successful in Suriname. We already have been donated by a friend of mine now, Stacy, the land to create this dream. So we're going to go there on Monday to bless the land. And then also on Tuesday, we're going to do rituals with shamans here for each one of the group that it's here to really connect to the nature spirits and to be cleansed of the past. So this is why I'm here. And I'm very happy to, from this beautiful country that consists over 93% of jungle of the Amazon, where one day I will have the pyramid, I will have a quantum school, another dream of mine, and also we will have a quantum orphanage and a medicinal plant factory where we can make like the natural medicine. We will have a water factory where we take Amazon water and with herbs and flowers and crystals create an Amazon water that will help people heal all over the world. So this is part of my dream, and this is why I'm here. This is the first step, and then many more steps will follow. And I expect the next 3 years that we'll have the most advanced research facility in the world, where we combine all the different, I would say, disciplines of healing into one, from the soft disciplines like I would say Reiki, massage, acupuncture, to things like stem cells, I would say therapy, but also the herbs. We will have machines to test people. We'll have machines to reset your brain. A friend of my wife, Joy, Dave Asprey, number one, what we call biohacker in the world, has a facility called 40 Years of Zen. In 1 week time, your brains will be reset as you've been training for 40 years meditation. How great is that? So anyway, in your future plans, be sure to be a guest in the new clinic or new resort, because it will happen. And I want to inspire you that you also need to own your dream. So whatever that dream is, whatever it is, how crazy it is possible. But it starts with the first step. And I want to start talking about that, but also a little introduction, how important this product and more products in the future will be for us. Okay, as a holistic doctor, right now with over 40 years of experience, I've seen everything from people who came to me with cancer and have a few weeks to live, and people degenerating with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, heart disease, diabetes, rheumatism. You can say I've seen it all. And in my practice, I had an over 80% success rate. That's very, very high for people who have been everywhere, tried everything. So when you break it down to a few steps, and I think this is very, very important for us to look at. Most of you might be healthy now, okay? Health is the biggest danger to your health. Why? Because when you're healthy and you believe that health is the absence of symptoms, then you're in trouble. Health is like the fight against gravity. The longer you live, the bigger the fight becomes. So to stay healthy, and I'm talking especially the young ones, to stay healthy, you need to invest in the future now. You cannot wait until you get symptoms. So let me give you for example, for men, in my research and studies, I discovered really quickly that all men are in a race to get problems with the prostate. It's just a matter of time. So if you look at the statistics, 60% of the men around 60 years have problems with the prostate, right? Maybe not big, not but it's starting. Around 80 is 80%, okay? So knowing those are the numbers, when do you start taking preventive measures to protect your prostate? I started when I was 32 years old. And I can tell you at reaching 70, I still don't have any problems with my prostate. I don't expect to have any problems with prostate. So by investing in the future, you will prevent what's coming in the future. So let's look at the statistics another time. The number one killer of humankind, you may not know what it is. That's the number one killer of humankind. That's medical treatment. Okay, do you understand? Medical treatment kills more people than any disease in the world. And now, when I say that, you may think for a moment that doctors make mistakes. Mistakes by doctors are the fourth killer of humankind. The first killer is doctors doing what they've been taught to do. And what they've been taught to do is to prescribe chemical pharmaceuticals. And it's the pharmaceuticals that kill us, okay? So the long-term use of pharmaceuticals always will have side effects on your lifespan. And this has been proven over and over. There's a test called HRV, heart rate variability test. And this is the most objective way to see if something is good for you or not. Doctors don't use this test because it shows without a shadow of a doubt that when you prescribe chemicals, you are shortened the lifespan. So what is heart rate variability? Very interesting thing, because we have an interesting product that will help you with that as well. You may guess 3 times what it is. Heart rate variability is the change of the beats of the heart. So when you have 60 beats per minute, your logical thinking will say, well, every second you have a beat. If your heart will beat every second, precisely per second, you are going to die within 1 week or 3 weeks. So it means that your heart is not flexible anymore. It does not regulate itself anymore. Every time you breathe in, you put pressure on your heart, right? So your heart has to work a little bit harder. The moment you breathe out, you release that pressure. So what we see is that one beat will be 0.8 seconds. Another beat, let's say another beat might be after 1.1, 0.7. The more the variation in the heartbeats, the longer you will live. Now, that's good to know, right? So our heart health is very important. So after doctors, the number one killer of humankind is heart disease. Isn't that interesting? So the third killer of humankind in general is cancer. And then we get into inflammations and other type of things. Now, these are the killers. But worse than being killed is degeneration. All right. Right now, there's an epidemic of diabetes, people being overweight, inflammatory diseases. Dementia is getting bigger and bigger and more into a modern society. So you are in a race against time. As you age, you will either become part of the statistics or stay out of the statistics. So the purpose for yourself, and forget everything else, forget everyone else. The purpose for yourself is to invest in yourself. And there comes the biggest problem to invest in yourself. Money, okay? A lot of you want to invest in yourself. I can afford to go to India for 30 days, right? But most people cannot afford that. So the biggest problem to stay in the best shape possible is, can you invest in your health? Can you take care of yourself? Can you, for example, once or twice a week get good lymph drainage massage, to go to saunas, to detox, to take the right remedies? All of that costs money. And this is where a lot of people get into trouble. They don't have that money. And if you look at, for example, in the health-oriented people in America who are very fit, they go to the gym, also an investment in your health. They exercise. An average health fit nut, as they call them in America, spends around $200 to $300 a month in supplements. $200 to $300 a month. I remember when I came to America first time. No, not first time. When I came to America, I started a practice, and my first client who came in happened to be, believe this or not, Maury, this is a very funny story, happened to be a distributor of one network marketing company. And they came in and they put a box of supplements on the table, because I asked all my clients to bring everything to take. She came in with a box. I even forget which MLM it was. And then I said, wow, are you taking all of that? She said, this is not all. She came with a second box. As a distributor of a network company, she was taking everything that the company was selling, right? Now, imagine your company is selling 80 products. You're taking 80 products, okay? So just think about it. And after testing her, a couple of things came out. A lot of the products were not being properly absorbed by your body. You're taking all of this stuff, but the absorption rate of most supplements are ridiculously low. We've tested people over and over taking vitamin D and vitamin A, and they were still low in the blood samples on these vitamins. So the crucial factor in taking supplements is how well do you absorb these supplements. So a lot of the people that I've tested over the years, I can tell you 80% of the supplements they were taking, they could throw away and flush it through the toilet, literally. And some supplements were very well absorbed, but they were not complete, like your vitamin C. And part of vitamin C, the core part is ascorbic acid, but it's also about the flavonoids, the other parts that come with it. So when we make a vitamin chemical, we're losing part on the natural parts of that. So when we go now back to one of the oldest, I would say, traditional medicine in the world, documented traditional medicine in the world, we will come either to Ayurvedic medicine, this is the oldest, and the second oldest is Chinese medicine. These are the two oldest, I would say, traditional documented medicine. And Ayurvedic medicine is one of the most advanced form of medicine in the world, and they're only using herbs, massage, and those kind of things. And a very big part of the treatment we see in the turmeric is a very important part of the treatment. They knew this 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years ago, right? And what happened when you look at the statistic, for example, of India, where what we call curries are almost daily things that they eat, sometimes 2-3 times a day, they eat curries. We have the lowest percentage of dementia in the world, number one, and much less cardiac disease as the rest of the world. Right now, they're catching up because of a lot of sugar. Diabetes is really rampant now in India, especially in the poor parts of India, where they have a really low base, I would say, nutrition with high caloric value and so on, but a lot of Western influence as well. So more they leave the traditional way of eating, the more they get into the Western statistic of disease. So what have I told you so far? Health is not the absence of symptoms. Have you ever heard of someone who was healthy and they went for a checkup, or they found a lump in the breast and it was cancer, or to discover the high blood pressure, diabetes, all of that. So the fact that you feel healthy or the fact that you don't have symptoms is not does not mean that you're healthy. So we all need to invest into our health if we want to maintain our health. I hope that you will take this at heart, because I remember a discussion we had with one of our team members who said, yes, I got this whole box of the product here, but I didn't take it yet. So what are you waiting for? So the first step is that you have to become, a consumer of the product. And number one, because I believe it is one of the best products I've seen in my 40 plus years career as a holistic medical doctor. And why is it one of the top, I would say, products? Is because it has so many different effects that it has. It doesn't have one effect only. But the biggest killer right now, if you look at heart disease, we look at cancer, we look at dementia, we look at diabetes and all those kind of diseases, they all have one thing in common, and that's what's called the inflammatory process that the body goes through. Some people will know this as the oxidant effect. And when you cut an apple, it will start to oxidize and then it turns brown, okay? That effect happens also in the body. Our biggest nutritional, I would say, enemy is glucose. Glucose is when our body breaks down, for example, bread or pasta or rice. And the speed in which we break down to glucose, which is called the glycemic index, that will determine if the body can deal with it or not. So if you take pure glucose like sugar, then that is too refined for the body. So if you regularly drink sugar, like some people drink, soft drinks, some young people drink 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cans of soda. That's per can 40 grams of sugar. That is more than we need in a day. Now imagine taking 6 of these cans a day, what this does to your body. So when glucose comes into your body, there are 2 things. The body needs to respond with insulin, and insulin will then bring the glucose into the cells. That is stage 1. But if you keep overburdening the body with glucose over and over, the body cannot produce enough insulin. And then second phase happens and we get what's called insulin resistance. And when we get insulin resistance, this is the number 1 reason for overweight, because that glucose is then turned into fat. But before it gets turned into fat, it becomes an oxidant. It irritates your blood vessels, for example. It irritates the joints, let's say all your joints in your body. And it also can have degenerative effects on other parts like the brain and all of those things. So it becomes an irritant to the body. And this, in the end, creates arteriosclerosis, because the body is protecting itself against this irritation. It starts building plaques around the parts that are irritated by the glucose. And now we get arteriosclerosis, and then your circulation is now being calcified, your blood vessels being calcified. And this can happen first in the coronary arteries of the heart, because these are the tiniest arteries that are very important for the heart function. And because of that, we can get a heart infarction, and 50% of people get a heart attack, they die immediately, 50% survive. All right, so then we have the effects on the brain. So dementia is also part of this glucose effect. Then we have the effects on the joints, which leads to degeneration and drying out of the joints of the cartilage, crack veins. So the cartilage becomes dry and dry because of the glucose effect. And it goes on and on and on. And we have all these degenerative effects that will lead to things like heart disease, dementia, diabetes, and all those kind of things. So a big part of the reason why people die in Western countries is because of the too much carbohydrates and so on and so on. And of course, you can use whole wheat, let's say unprocessed carbs, that's better, and so on and so on. But a lot of people are still sensitive to glucose because of stress and other factors in our lives. We also have a big problem nowadays that is toxins. We all are being exposed to toxins. Science showed that in average, we are exposed to over 80,000 chemicals a year. 80,000, all right? So the question that you need to ask yourself, is my body, let's say, a well-oiled detox machine? Because the toxins we cannot escape. We cannot go live in the jungle and so on. We live in cities, we drive cars, we have copy machines. All of those things create chemicals in the air, heavy metals. And if our body is not really throwing out the toxins, then toxins accumulate also in our body. So over time, we get what's called a toxic load. So the bioaccumulation of toxin over time is the second factor that leads to degeneration. When I moved to America in 1986, when I stopped my practice and I was called to go to Los Angeles, the first thing I noticed in Los Angeles was the enormous environmental pollution. The air was thick with smog and pollution, and I did not feel very well. So I quickly developed remedies for myself to detox my body from this pollution. When I was living in the Antilles, we had practical no pollution. We had fresh sea wind coming over, fresh air, and so on and so on. So moving to Los Angeles was a big problem for me. So I developed detox remedies that I still use today by health professionals all over America. I was the first doctor ever to create a detox program, and I still have the best detox program in the world. So that's one thing. The second thing is we can help our body to detoxify. One very important way to detoxify is sweating. You can do it in a sauna, or you can do it by exercising. And the second important thing is drinking a lot of water. Clean water, drink a lot of water to detoxify your body from toxins. Very, very important. And the third important thing is to do regularly fasting. A good way to do fasting, if you do fruit fasting, you can do even, what's it called, brown rice fasting, silverfleece fasting, silverfleece rice fasting. So you eat brown rice all day, as much as you want for 3-4 days. This cleanses your body. And then, of course, you have other things, water fasting, juice fasting, all those things. So I recommend you to do that, right? So and here we have a product that has an anti-inflammatory effect. So it protects us against oxidization of our bodies. It protects our capillaries, so to find arteries in the heart and different parts of the body. It protects the brain against degeneration. It protects the joints. So it has a very powerful antioxidant effect. Just imagine this, that to get a similar effect of antioxidant, you need to take between 6,000 to 12,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. Do you know how much vitamin C that is? All right, 6 to 12 pills a day to get the same effect as what we can do with 3, 4, 5 drops. With this, the downside of vitamin C is that you can take it, but then it peaks into the blood and it goes back down. So you need to keep taking it regularly. And the big problem with vitamin C is you cannot take it during the night. So then you have a deficit of antioxidant effect during the night. With this product, it peaks up, but it remains in the blood for 24 hours. So my recommendation always to take it in the morning. I do it in my coffee. And before you go to sleep, you can do it in some tea or with your dinner. You put it in whatever, your potatoes, your whatever you're eating, throw a few drops in there. And now you peak again during tonight. And this way, you get the maximum antioxidant effect, which will save you money if you're using vitamin C, for example. You don't need to take 6,000 to 12,000 milligrams of vitamin C and all of that. So that's the number one effect that we have with this product that is unmatched by anything I've seen in the nutritional field. And when I say unmatched, it means at this point in time, yes, there's some other products that will enhance the uptake of turmeric into the blood, but nothing comes close to the product we have. So here we have the first win already. The first win for us is the investment in our own health. We're not talking about money yet. We're not talking about anything else. Just pure taking care of yourself. This is the first act of self-care, of self-love. Now, as you begin as a distributor on the entrepreneur level, you have a big box, so you don't have to worry. And then you can take as much you want. There are no side effects, whatever. A lot of questions are, if I'm pregnant, can I take this? If I have this disease, I can take it. Literally, it's a spice. It's something you put in your food. This has literally no side effects whatsoever. And of course, you know, there have been over 20,000 scientific papers published on turmeric alone. Why is that? Just ask yourself, why would one product be researched over and over on so many different applications? So here's the point. The point is not there are 20,000 published papers about the same thing. There are 20,000 published papers about different ways of how turmeric acts on the body. So just think intelligently for just a second. If the scientific researchers are researching so many different effects of turmeric, why? It's because it's a product that has many, many different effects. That's the one thing you need to take in. It is, if you would call it the emperor of all supplements, then it will be a justified name. So that's the product that we have right now, each one of us, with an absorption rate that is through the sky. Now, the absorption rate only tells you one thing, is what they measure in the blood. Okay, so here we have a turmeric nanophyte, means it is a very tiny molecules being absorbed through the bloodstream. The moment you take it into your mouth, it's already being absorbed in your mouth, and it goes all the way down the whole cycle until it reaches the intestine. It's being absorbed. Now, that is measurable. But what they did not research yet, and what I could test with on some people, it's also immediately in the brain. So some people have an immediate effect of turmeric. So our friend Winston, who introduced this to us, one of the first effects he noticed was that his memory got better. So that was one effect. Why? Because the turmeric is readily absorbed into the brain. The brain is protected by something called the blood-brain barrier. So it's only tiny molecules can come in through the blood-brain barrier. There are two ways to get there. One is through, let's say, the blood-brain barrier itself, and the second way to get into the brain is through the nose. That is the danger of mercury fillings. Mercury fillings, when we chew, so these are the silver metal fillings, when we chew, we create mercury vapor, and the mercury vapor is absorbed through the olfactory nerve and goes directly into the brain, and that's why mercury fillings can cause multiple sclerosis. So many people with multiple sclerosis that I've seen in my practice, the first thing I recommend is for them to remove the mercury fillings, which is a very stress moment, because the moment if the dentist doesn't know what he's doing, he starts drilling the fillings, creates more mercury vapors, and a lot of multiple sclerosis patients will get more problems there. So if you suffer from neurodegenerative diseases, think about things like Parkinson, Alzheimer's, dementia, this product is one of the prime products I would recommend for any of the neurodegenerative diseases, but practically for any degenerative diseases. Just know how many people nowadays have arthrosis of the hips, arthrosis of the knees, need what you call hip replacement, all of that. So that we can help as well by using this product. So the reason we have 20,000 research papers is because this product has so many different properties that can be researched. It has an effect on the immune system. We spoke on the first killer, doctors. So the first thing you want to do is stay away from doctors, okay? And the best way to stay away from doctors is to take care of yourself. Step one, take care of yourself. Second step is heart disease. This has an effect on heart disease. So we can help ourselves with that. The next one is what's called cancer, and cancer is a defect in your immune system. Well, there are two parts to that. You have what we can call a physical defect, and of course we have mental, emotional defects. Then we have genetic defects, and we have also toxic, toxic substrates that can irritate the body, can create cancer. But in cancer, there are many ways we can cure ourselves, but the one important thing is to help the immune system. I'm very big into mental training. So I just developed an anti-cancer new product with 24 audios where we train the mind to cure the body. But the best supplement to take in cancer is now the turmeric as well, to help the immune system to become stronger. And because turmeric has so many different effects, it's not just the immune system, it opens the capillaries, so we get more oxygen into cancer, and that is also oxygen is an enemy of cancer. So doing breathing exercises combined with turmeric is a great way to even protect yourself better against cancer. And of course, having emotional balance is as well. So this part of the whole thing. So you can understand my excitement on this. So many people will tell you the following: I want to test the product first. Bullshit. Okay? There's nothing to test, because you need to take the products for the next 20 years to get the effects on the investment in that. If you're already sick, if you already have symptoms, it is not a product you take today, the symptoms are gone tomorrow. You will have to test at least 6 months for have the full benefit of the products. That's what requires healing. So when my patients come into my practice, I would tell them, listen, you're going to sign a commitment to come for the next 2 years to me. It takes 2 years with holistic practice to reverse all the damages that has been caused to your body by your lifestyle, your stress level, your toxic amount that you took in. It takes 2 years to regenerate the body. So how are you going to test a product and take it for 1 week and come and tell me, oh, it doesn't work for me? Remember, this is bullshit. If they want to test the product, they have to commit to test it for 2 years. Do you understand that? So do not let that be an argument. We're not looking for testers. This product has been scientifically tested. We do not test. What does a tester do? A tester is looking for subjective improvements. Now, let me tell you a story. When I was an acupuncturist, I would tell my patients, you need a minimum 10 treatments before we can evaluate if the treatments are successful or not. Because there are 3 stages in reversal of disease. The stage number 1 is stopping the process. Okay, so we stop the process. That takes time. That can take up to 2-3 months. Then we have the in-between phase. Now we're working on what I would say building up the defense mechanism. And then you go into phase 3, and that's regeneration. And regeneration, this is also something you need to understand, because we'll be testing this in the future as well, is that turmeric has an effect on the stem cells. And why the stem cells so important is because the stem cells is what rejuvenates our body, what regenerates the body. So it also has the effect on the stem cells. So that's one thing for you to understand. But it takes time. So if one person tells you, yeah, I want to try it out, you say, okay, well, you have to try it out at least for a year, and preferably 2 years, because then we can see the whole process. Does it make sense? So don't let people come up with these excuses. I want to try it out for a month and then see if it's going to work for me. That is not the way turmeric works. Turmeric works. You are in for the long term. And if you already are sick, it takes time to reverse the process, period. So you need at least, let's say at least 3 to 6 months to stop the process. And then you get the regeneration process, who can take another 6 months. And maybe another year or so. Yes, when I was in my practice, a lot of people will heal in a shorter period of time. If you have a headache, that's not a degeneration process. That's easy to heal. Pain in your shoulder, easy to heal. But when you come in with arthritis, when you come in with other degenerative diseases, that takes time, because the body is already degenerated. So that's what we're looking at. So it is good to have this knowledge, because when you talk to people, they will start asking you these questions. And remember, if you don't know how to answer the question, I'm here for you. So you can ask the question in the group chat. I will answer you. And some of you already asked. I will always be there for you to answer that part for you as well. So that's one part. That's the medical part, which is the most important part. But it's not only for you, but also for your friends, for your family, and then just tell them this is a long-term product. It's not a short-term product, which is what you later will see is good for a business, because long-term means that the people really seriously want to use this product. They need to go on what we call auto shipment. It is not, you don't buy a bottle, you test it out, and then you say, okay, it didn't work. You need to be able, if you have friends and family, tell them, all right, that you need to take this at least for a year and then evaluate. That's the number one commitment. And you cannot do anything wrong. I can tell you, everybody take this product for a year. There will be benefits. Some benefits will be visible. Some benefits will not be visible right away. All right, so just think about it. So until a better product comes along, I'll be taking this product. So for now, I'm committed. For the coming years to come, I'll be taking this product, and I'll be looking better and better. This year, I'm going to celebrate 70. I'm looking forward to celebrating 80 because I've been taking this product for 10 years. I must be younger and fitter than now. That's my commitment to the product, number one. And you can understand my enthusiasm and excitement for this product. And I recommend for everybody, and especially for men, if you still have a prostate, take extra dosage of this product because you want to protect your prostate against degeneration. Very, very important. I've been playing a little bit also with steaming the product to see if that will have benefits with people who have kind of lung problems. I would say it's not conclusive yet. I don't think it's an advantage because the absorption rate is already so great in the blood that steaming the product doesn't add any advantages. The other thing I've been trying is to apply it locally with plasters that seem to have some effect. So, for example, if you have a knee inflammation, you can put some thing and put plaster over a drop on the skin, put a plaster on it, because the skin will also absorb it really, really very well as well. So you can play and try out different things in it. What I recommend you to do is just put it in everything that is warm, in your food and stuff like that, coffee, drop in your tea, wherever. It is fun. Everywhere I go with my little bottle. Even in restaurants, I put a drop in my food and stuff like that. And then some other people ask me, what is it? Now you have a beautiful conversation when people ask you, what are you using, right? And they, knowing me being a crazy health nut doctor, you can get really people that will be interested. So if you carry your bottle with you, you use it everywhere, you start the conversation. So you don't sell to people. You just express what you know, and you tell them, this kind of things I've been telling you here. And if they have more questions, you always are free to ask it. So that's the product. This is my enthusiasm and excitement about the product. And I'll be honest with you, I've developed over 1,000 different natural products over my career. And a lot of them have disappeared, not because they're not good, but because the laws have been changed. Big Pharma has taken homeopathy for a big part out of it. We need to now prove everything to such a degree that's almost not worth it anymore to bring homeopathic products into market. So a lot of my products are based on homeopathy. Thank God in America, we still have for health professional detox programs. And this year, I'm going to start teaching more about that. So the product, I'm 100% enthusiastic about the product. And if you have any question in the future, feel free to ask. Just remember the two things. It is not about short term, it's about long term. It's about a part of the investment. For if you're sick, again, remember 1 to 2 years. And if you're healthy, it's a lifelong journey until something else comes along. So this is for you. Now, I'm not going to go in about selling the product. That's not my interest. We will be doing that for you. I've made 7 videos in English, 7 videos in Dutch, and we will be starting promoting these videos. As soon as these videos are ready, I will recommend you to look at them and to study them. When you study them, you will understand more the language that you can use when you're talking with other people. So I created this also for you, but also for other people. So if you have people who have questions, you just send the videos to them. Say, here are the videos, watch these videos. And if you have questions, we have a medical expert that you saw in the videos we can ask him those questions. So that's one part of what I see as my commitment to this product and to put my energy into it as well. That's number one. Number two is that I'm a specialist also in training the subconscious mind, the sabotage mechanism we go through. And that's been my second study. And that had to do not so much with success, but I was wanting to know the reason why people sabotage themselves, right? And there's a phenomena called secondary gain. So, for example, if someone has a disease, the secondary gain of the disease could be attention. The secondary gain of the disease could be to be able to say no, and because you're sick, you cannot do things anymore. So you can be clear on your boundaries. You can have a sad story to tell, and through that get more empathy and all those things. So secondary gain is very big. And my whole life changed the day that I was talking to a cancer patient. It was a woman in the early of my careers, and she had rectum cancer. And I was talking to her, I was testing her. And one of the things that I test is the sentence, "I want to heal." And the sentence, when she said, "I want to heal from my cancer," and the muscle test said no, she didn't want to heal from the cancer. And I said, "Okay, is there any reason why you don't want to heal from this cancer?" And she thought for a moment. And she said, "Well, since I have cancer, my two daughters come to visit me regularly. My husband start working overtime and comes spend every evening with me." Okay, that was a secondary gain. You understand? So it was a lack of getting, in her opinion, love. So a lot of people have secondary gain, and that's why we sabotage ourselves. But there's another bigger sabotage. The biggest sabotage is that we are stuck in a comfort zone. And here's the point, the term comfort zone is not correct. We are stuck in an uncomfortable comfort zone. We're not truly happy, but we're still stuck. Because outside of our comfort zone, what we know is our comfort zone. That you can call a comfort zone. Outside of our comfort zone, there's the unknown. We need to have courage to step out of our comfort zone, to step into the unknown. Our fear of the unknown is the biggest sabotage mechanism that we have in life. So the subconscious mind prefers to stay in an uncomfortable comfort zone than to go in the unknown. That's the main reason why a lot of people stay stuck in a relationship, because if they get a divorce or they break up, the unknown, they don't know what will happen then, and that they stay in an uncomfortable relationship. And there's much more to it, but the core is that. And I took upon me, and I'm going to soon announce the dates, of training you who are in our tribe, and that means everyone, to get out of the comfort zone, to face your fears and overcome your fears, to face your secondary gains and overcome your secondary gains. Both require courage to do so. And I'm a specialist in that. And I'm very, very grateful for being sent to martial arts, to judo when I was 6 years old. And I learned constantly. I'm a lifelong martial artist. I've learned constantly to step out of my comfort zone. And I became comfortable in an uncomfortable place. So not in my comfort zone, but outside my comfort zone. So the courage is, the definition for me of courage is to be comfortable outside of your comfort zone. And when you start becoming comfortable outside your comfort zone, you have no boundaries anymore, because fear is no longer a block and a stop on you. Nothing stops me. No project is too big for me to say, no, I cannot do it, because I am accustomed to step out of my comfort zone. Does it make sense? So this is the things I want to teach you. So also when making money, there's a comfort zone we're stuck into. And in a book called Quantum Leap, this has been called the upper limit. So the upper limit is the amount of financial success we can tolerate. So if we go above the upper limit, we again are uncomfortable, and then we start sabotaging ourselves. This has been proven over and over. And the best statistics for that is the people who win the lottery and win a lot of money. What happens is that 80% within 5 years lose everything and more because it was outside of the comfort zone. And they could not tolerate that amount of financial abundance. So you all here are going to reach a point where it's going to be uncomfortable for you to make so easy so much money. Okay. And what the last thing I want is for you to start sabotaging yourself. So that's what part of this training that I'm going to create for you, which is my biggest next, I would say, specialty, is that. And when we apply that to manifestation, we can create unlimited amounts of wealth. So for example, now, to create this, I call micro society eco resort in the Amazon, this is going to cost €250 million in euros and probably more because I want to have everything. It might even go up to 300-400 million to create this here. Well, one thing I know for sure, the money will come because in my mind, it's already there. There's no uncomfort zone for me because I trained my mind to think in 9 zeros. Okay, most of you think in 5 zeros. Some of you think in 10 zeros. I want you to have unlimited amount of zeros. So the moment that more zeros make no more discomfort in you, you become what Joe Dispenza calls unlimited, but he cannot make people truly unlimited because he's lacking the tools to get people to stop sabotaging themselves. I've seen and interviewed many people who went to Joe Dispenza, and what he does is very addictive. He brings you in the quantum field. You see all kinds of vision, but the problem to manifest those vision is, again, your subconscious mind. And that's where he doesn't have the tools. I gave a workshop with Bruce Lipton. After the workshop, he said to me, I have the theory of the science. You have the tools for the practice. And that's my specialty, is to teach people how to do that. I've learned this in martial arts. I became a world champion in martial arts by training my subconscious mind. And I'm now a specialist in quantum science. And quantum science is the science, and this you want to remember, is the science of frequencies. Everything has a frequencies. A disease has a frequency. Vitality has a frequency. Joy has a frequency. Wealth has a frequency. So you want to master the frequencies of the life that you want to create. And we're going to help you with that. And it's just part of what we do because we want to have a powerful team that can tolerate this success, because there are two parts of the success we're going to create. One is to create the best way to make money, and that is effortlessly. And for a big part, passively. I'm a specialist in passive income. I have over 80 sources of passive income, but some of them are drops. I mean, for example, I just got €100 from something called Lira in Holland. And that's when in the library, they take a book, I get 1 cent. So I know, okay, maybe 10,000 people read my books. Okay, that's €100. It's nothing, but it's a drop. It means I can take someone out for dinner. Okay, so that's okay. That's cool. But what if you have 1,000 of these drops? Does this make sense? So that's the idea of passive income. And my name is not for nothing Roy, because Roy is royalties. Okay, the toothpaste royalties. It's being a prince, a king, but it's also to get royalties. And that's why I wrote 88 books. And I still get royalties, all right? Another form of passive income. So just think about it. If most people cannot tolerate passive income, did you know that? Because we have been brainwashed. Pay attention to the word. We have been brainwashed to believe we have to do something to get something. True or false, right? We need to deserve something, right? This is bullshit. Have you ever seen someone who has bags of money and they do shit for it? Okay, did they deserve it? Were they lucky? I don't know. I don't care. What about you? Could you increase your level of luck? Well, being in this group, you already did. The only thing you now need to do is to be trained to accept that luck into your life, to be trained that it is okay to make money effortlessly. And once that becomes your new comfort zone, You will start growing. And then you can fulfill the biggest passion in your life, your dream. What is your true dream? What do you want to manifest in this world? And I can tell you, it's not just luxury. It's not just a house. It's not just a nice car, because each one of you have something to give to this planet. But when you have to give and you don't have money, it's more difficult to give. When you're taking care of your own needs, all the needs that you have on a basic and a luxury level, you can give more. And I can tell you, to create positive karma is the biggest blessing you can give to yourself. The more you can give to those who are powerless, the more you will get in return. So basically, yes, we will make a lot of money within the next couple of years. But the question you have to start asking is, what do you want to give? Because you will have all the time in the world. You don't have to work for money anymore. So now you can follow your heart's desires, your passion. And I think that's the greatest gift that you can give to someone else again. So when you are in this business, think about that. You're not only giving a product, and there will be more products of this stature with this kind of absorption rate. Not only you're giving people more quality of life and a longer life, but you're also giving them the ability to create more passive income. And because of that, to bring their passion into the world by making a contribution to the new world that is coming. So in the end, all of this that we're doing is to be part of the new world that is coming right now. The new world that is manifesting right now here, where we're breaking free from the constraints of the control system that is now. And I can promise you the control system will only get stronger, and you want to get out of that. So creating micro-societies, we will create over 50 micro-societies all over the world, is also breaking free from the way that we think that society should be. Wouldn't you like to be in a society with like-minded people, where then not fight about egos, who is doing the boss, whatever, where everybody is equal, where everybody can bring in their own creative powers, where we co-create the society we want to live in, where children are being loved and go to schools where they're stimulated in their talents. So we bring out the geniuses instead of making them dumber and depending on, a job to be slaves of the community. That's part of my dream. And I invite you all to bring in your dreams as well. And taking care of your financial needs is just the first step. Having a great product to do it, that's incredible. We're very lucky to do that. So I hope this will inspire you. I may have talked too much. I promise to leave some time for Maury as well. But this is why, for the first time in my life, I commit to a multi-level marketing company. I did this before with Healy, which is a quantum device, but they throw me out because I was too far advanced for their rules and regulations. So they kicked me out. I still believe in the Healy, but I'm not pushing and fighting for the Healy as a business. I put my energy now in Fightify as the business that I want to promote. I want to put my time into it. I want you guys to thrive. I want you guys to be successful. I want to train you to break through all your limitations so that you truly become unlimited. And then my dream is that within 2 years, we're going to have a big, big party on a big yacht. Sorry, the yacht may have a big carbon footprint, but we will do so good for mankind that we can once allow ourselves to just party on a big boat. So share the dream with me that we're going to party on this big yacht together, and nobody's going to ask how much does it cost. At the moment we have the date, you say, I'm in. When? That's the only question you ask, right? This is a dream I want to share with you. And with that, I want to close this part and pass I would say, the baton to Maury to continue with his part. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to tune out and see you guys soon again in our next training. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye.